Fridays, there is a language class, but we're not doing it in the UK yet. But yeah, there is pronunciation and everything that comes along with language.
Friday about 9. Friday at 9?
It's late, about midnight.
12.
Yeah. Every time I see it, it's late. UK, probably 9 America, UK midnight.
Midnight, yeah.
I'm going to email over you 2 articles.
So what's the 2 one?
Oh, okay. And then might work it out.
Yeah, using the mic for the laptop.
Oh, well, okay, that's totally fine. Right, give me 1 second.
You went on screen, let's email it.
Email it, alright.
Oh, that week's short, man.
What?
Yeah, that week's short.
In General YAHANNA at the I.S.U.P.K. since 1969, we've been teaching that according to the Bible, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the real Israelites, not the so-called Jewish man, but we are the real Israelites by blood, man, not by religion. We can't convert, but that we are the people of the Bible. In that Bible, you read about people that walk through the Red Sea, man. In the Bible, you read about a people that heard the voice of God and lived, and that is you, black man. You in Leicester, you in Birmingham, you in Manchester, and wherever we are in the UK. That greatest history is in fact your history, man.
That's right.
And you know, religion, they teach us these things to where what? We read the Bible as a race of people think, damn, them people are lucky. If only I was one of them, not knowing that you are them, man. You are the people of the Bible, and Christ, via the power of the Most High, has a kingdom for you, man. And you know, just to break it down, the kingdom of heaven isn't no mystical thing. The kingdom of heaven is you ruling the earth, man.
That's right.
And with the laws of God, that will be the law of the land. In here, we keep the laws of God in here, but in the world it's something else. But imagine this, the same laws we keep in here, that's going to be the law of the earth. It won't be no more. I do it here, but I gotta basically fight, act like this job because I don't want to work on a certain day. That will be the law of the earth. No one won't work on holidays because it's why, because the laws that we have in here will be the laws of the earth. You won't have to be like, yeah, but my boss, he won't understand. In the kingdom of heaven, your boss will understand.
That's right.
Why? Because the laws of God will be the laws of the earth, man. Yeah, just email it over. Yeah, so of course, you know, we use the Bible, of course, which is the best reference, and also we have history to also back up what the Bible says too. So you know, in this school, it's based in the city of Birmingham, and from this school we teach classes 4 times a week. So we have the Monday history class, we have the Wednesday law class, and today the Thursday scripture breakdown class. Then on Fridays 9 to 11, we have the I.S.U.P.K UK radio show called On the End. You know what I mean? That is a powerful radio show, man. Even though I'm on the show, I'm always laughing, man. You know what I mean? I can't help it, man. That's how good it is. Then, you know what I mean? And that's what we got. And also, the address 394 Lodge Road, postcode B185PW. So if you're in the city of Birmingham, come through, man. You can look us up on YouTube, I.S.U.P.K, United Kingdom, on Instagram, ISUPK_UK, Facebook, I.S.U.P.K United Kingdom, and on the Google My Business. You can type in on the search engine I.S.U.P.K. Lodge Road, and they'll give you the direction. So if you want to get here via car, train, via bike, you want to walk, then all that is online for you as well. And if you've been in the school, you can also leave a review as well, man. You've been here, you was edified, you got taught, you got some counsel, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Most definitely leave a review too, man. So that's what we got going on. So in today's class, everyone was up in awe about the racial abuse that the football players received, not realizing that with the racism we receive, that is English history, man.
That's right.
All what you see is embedded in England, and the problem is we forget, man. Our oppressor, he does not forget, man. He knows his history, and there's a people that he should hate. But then we forget. Why? Because we always try to join him, man. So what we're going to do, we're going to get into a few articles first, and then we're going to get into the scripture breakdown side of it as well. So we're going to get the articles first, then we're going to get into the scripture breakdown side and show you that what we want as a race is never ever been what the Lord wanted, man. For us, we want to join everyone, and that was never ever the plan of the Lord. And of course, we will back that up with the Bible, man. In the Bible it says, if any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God, man. Meaning it can't just be what you want. It's got to be found in this oracle, man, in this book. And we're going to show you today that God doesn't want us joining England, man.
That's right.
And I know someone online, you may think, well, you're here. Listen, I'm here, but the laws I keep ain't of England, man. With the morality I keep, it's not of England.
That's right.
You can be here and at the same time not be here.
That's right.
You can live in England but not be a part of England.
That's right.
I'm not telling no one to beat up oppressors. I'm not telling no one to do nothing radical. But the most radical thing you can do to change your life, man.
That's right.
That is real revolution right there, man. Everyone believes that, for us to win, we gotta buy guns. We gotta, do something ridiculous. When the best thing you can do in any fight is fix your life, man. Is to come out of their ways, and that is the best revolution any black man can do, any Hispanic man can do, and any native Indian man can do as well, man. So let's get into it. The first article.
To sell you drugs is racist. Why is it happening?
So now this article came out today, man, and a lot of people they focus on Rashford and the rest of them, but not realizing this is a deep-rooted issue that's been going on in England since the Windrush, man. That there's a way how they look at us when they see us. There's a way how they think about us. And with this article we have, it's going to get into it. The reader.
Come. Being approached by a stranger and asked for weed or pills is something many black people have experienced, and it doesn't feel good.
And listen, this is talking about England right here. Meaning, if you're black, people just assume that you sell drugs, man. And why? Because they think lowly of us, man. Regardless of what you do, you can play for the Europa League. You can play and do as much as you want. But there's a fact: no man can rise above the level of his people.
That's right.
Regardless of who you think you are, you cannot rise above your race, man. You can score all the goals you like. You can, be the best worker in any job, but you can't rise above what your oppressor thinks about your race, man. And with our oppressor, how does he think about us? That we're nothing, man. All we do is sell drugs. And this article right here is breaking it down that even though people think that this country is not a racist, people will look at you and naturally have a racist mindset, man. Naturally have a negative mindset and think that all you can do is bad, all you can do is evil. Read up.
Come on. Obviously, the likelihood of this happening depends on the setting. It happens more often to young people and in places where drugs are used more frequent, like festivals, bars, and clubs. But regardless of the context, being mistaken for a dealer is something that is disproportionately experienced by black people.
There you go, man. So when someone comes up to you, yo, man, I need some weed, that happens mainly to black people, man. Meaning what? As much as we try to do in England, Nigel Benn, box for England, man. Him and the Eubank, they put British boxing on the map. At one point, no one cared about a boxer from England. It was just American. It's a fact. In the mid 90s, British boxing wasn't saying nothing. And it took two men from the tribe of Benjamin to put British boxing on the map. And look, despite that, England still thinks of you in a negative light.
That's right.
England still thinks, bro, if I want some weed, then I know who to see, man. And if you think I'm lying, this article is saying it right here that, listen, this affects black people. When it comes to something negative, it always comes to us. So regardless of what we do for England, fighting World War I and the Second World War, our oppressor will still look at us like, you know what, these people can never do good, man.
That's right.
Even though you have done good, in their mind, which shows what? We cannot rise above what they expect of us as a race, even though you did something individually. Read up.
Come on. But regardless of the context, being mistaken for a dealer is something that disproportionately experienced by black people. There is also a gender dynamic at play, with black men more likely to be perceived in this way, with their physical features making them more likely to be seen as threatening and criminal.
So now, what does that really mean? Meaning, if you're black, people assume that you're just bad, man, and you're threatening, which is another thing. You got some of us out there, they believe, well, you see, that happens to you because of your hoodie, man. You walk around with that hoodie, and listen, the hoodie's got nothing to do with it, man. You're black. You're an Israelite, man.
That's right.
And by you coming from this bloodline, they deem you as threatening, man. You walk by them, start holding their bag, start, making sure they got everything on them. And it's got nothing to do with how you act. It's got nothing to do with what kind of job you got. It's got nothing to do with how you talk, how you walk. It's the simple fact that you and me are a black man. That's what it's all about. And now, that's just one article right there. But even that, a concept, it dates back thousands of years ago, man. Where by race, they made up their opinion about you. It was never about what you did. It was about how you looked. And why do we need to bring it here? Because us as a nation, we always believe that we can join England if we do the right things. But let me tell you something, it's not gonna happen, man. We just read that they look at you like that because you're black, because of how you look. It's got nothing to do with what you achieve. It's got nothing to do with how much you benefit England via how you look. They will always look at us as threatening. as if a crime is all that we know. And now these articles, they used to wake us up that, listen, England don't love us, man.
That's right.
Regardless of how much you box to put England on the map, regardless of how much goals we can score for England, by you being black, naturally, they will look at us in a bad light. They will always think negative, and that's why we need to separate. If you got some dream in your mind that, listen, England will love me if I just score that last goal, forget about it, man. You know what I mean? Now, of course, regarding that game, England lost, but imagine if they won. Do you think really that would have changed anything?
I said, I don't know, this is me. I think the Lord did it on purpose. Like, reading the Bible, the Lord likes to, like, wind black people up and let us know that, listen, you ain't got friends here. Had we won that now, black people, like, we're British. So I put the Lord, like, I think it was in Samuel with Samson. The Lord likes to shake shit up sometimes.
That's right, yeah. No, and that is right, man. You know what I mean? This could have been an act of the Lord where he's trying to wake us up that, listen, England don't love you, man. As soon as they lost the game, all the racial abuse just came through the airwaves, man. Came via Instagram, Twitter, everyone making racist memes, which shows us that England don't like us. And there's nothing we can do to make England like us, man. If you don't get it now, look at history, man. It was black people that built the London Underground. One of the greatest points of a London. You can be in north. You can go on the London Underground, go to south, man. You know what I mean? And look, England still don't like us, man. Black people was in the a welding industry, done many great works. England doesn't even blink an eyelid, man. You want to know why? Because they look at us for what they think about us. And there's nothing you can do to convince them, man. We just read that. Listen, by how you look, their mind is already made up.
That's right.
You can box for England. You can, you know what I mean, try and get rid of your black demeanor as much as you like. It doesn't make a difference, man. It shows us what if England doesn't love us, then what should we do? Love each other, man.
Right.
Love each other. Don't fight for their love because you're never gonna get it, man. You're not gonna get it. We just read that. Listen, it's based on how you look. That's why they think that way. And if you believe you're gonna do something to get England's love, it's never gonna happen, man. We got some coffee.
I think it's Judges 14:2. With Samson.
Yeah, read that.
Like 3. 41. And Samson went down to Timnath and saw a woman of Timnath, of the daughters of the Philistines. And he came up and told his father and his mother, and said, I have seen a woman of Timnath, of the daughters of the Philistines. Now therefore get her for me to wife. Then his father and mother said to him, is there never a woman among the daughters of the brethren, or among all the people that thou goest to take for wife?
Okay, so now what happened, man? You know what I mean? If you never read this before, this is talking about Samson. And regarding Samson, he just loved African women, man. To where even his mom's like, what? There ain't a woman around your people. You can't get a black woman. You can get a woman from the West Indies. But all the time, it's like African women, man. Like those Ghanaian women, Igbo women. You know, and his mom's like, listen, like, what's wrong, man? You can't get a woman from your tribe, from your nation.
That's right.
Read on.
That thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines.
Uh-huh.
And Samson said unto his father, get her for me, for she pleaseth me well. But his father and mother knew not that it was the Lord, that he sought an occasion against the Philistines.
There you go. You go.
So I'm saying, like, with the whole Euro thing, black people are say, oh, how this happen? Is that the Lord works sometimes, that the Lord will make something happen to show black people, listen, I'm working here, I want to show you that, you know, these people, you should separate from them, just like Samson.
That is absolutely right, man. If you don't get it, the Lord will make you get it, man. the Lord will set things up so that you do see it, man. And so you mean absolutely, man. And you know, we saw how England really felt about us, man. They like it when you make them win, but then as soon as you do something wrong, they let you know how they really feel about you, man. Like you're that organ, you're this and you're that, and there's nothing you can do to get their love, man. We just read how via your looks, their opinion is already made. So now, I'm gonna go into a second article, and this article it goes into the Greek Empire, and even then, their philosophers were racist, man. Greek philosophers were racist, and do you want to know a fact? A lot of English philosophers you see now, they look up to ancient Greek philosophers. So that same racism that was taught thousands of years ago, it still is alive in England. Why? Because they still learn off them, man. If you could get the second article. Yeah.
God, yeah, the part where it's like what Officer Crawford just read about Samson's said get that wife for him to his parents, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's my point on that now? Yeah, it says that the Lord, his mother didn't know that the Lord had saw an occasion. But yeah, how does that like? How is it of the Lord? That's what I want to know. Like,
how's it of the Lord? Okay.
Clarification on that, yeah.
No sweat. What makes it of the Lord? The Lord hates the Philistines, and the Lord wants them dead. So basically, the whole reason of it is that the Lord wants a war. It's not really about it's not really about him liking the women about the women of them. The whole emphasis is that the Lord wants a war so that the Philistines will stop all oppressing us, which is what was happening. So how did the Lord make it happen? He made it happen where regarding Samson, he liked a woman of theirs, and of course they was upset, and that caused the uproar. So the emphasis ain't really him liking one of theirs. The emphasis is the war and him taking their lives, if I'm making sense.
Kind of, I understand that, yeah. Okay, so, but it's still a sin, obviously. I mean,
of course, yes. Of course, in the Bible, what we call today interracial relationships, that is a sin.
God, yeah.
So as I said before, you mean the Lord didn't make him love other nations, but it was used that his liking of him would make him fight the Philistines, which is the point. Because if you read the chapter before, they was above us, we was oppressed by them. So he was causing an uproar via that.
Is it the same with Judas?
Yeah.
Like, how shall we die anyway? Well, the Lord used Judas' greed for him to be the one that set Christ up.
That's right. So basically, you mean that was used, but the agenda was that that they will stop being above us because we was oppressed by them.
So likewise, the game,
right. So like, yeah, I was gonna. That's what I was trying to find. I was trying to what Officer Crawford just said. Then the same thing what Judas has to do with Christ. Yeah, it's the same principle, basically, right?
Yes, meaning it was gonna happen anyway, but then of course he betrayed him, and it was him. But though with Yahushua, he was gonna die anyway. But though because he didn't want to go to him and thee alone, he went and he got him put to death. Meanwhile, with Christ, he was gonna die anyway. But now it was his hand that made it happen. So it's gonna happen anyway, but now it happened under him.
Right. Salakia, if I may. So it would have happened like maybe one of the scribes or one of them kind of, you know what I mean? If he didn't go and do it. Right.
That's right, because in the Bible, I believe it's in the book of Zechariah. It's a prophesied that someone would do it, but it just happened to be him. So meaning, if it wasn't him, it would have been someone else. But the point being is, in a prophecy, someone would have done it. But you mean he made it be him? If it making sense.
I got that. Yep.
I got you. No sweat.
What's the second way that
This thing is.
it's about dirty something.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah. Let me check it out.
Something about being dirty. Son.
My bad. Let me. Nah, that's not. Okay, no sweat. Let me go for my sent messages. No, I did send you a second one. It's the google.com Aristotle. In the email, I sent you the first one, then another one. Yeah, same one. So now we're gonna go into some Greek philosophy, which England likes. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Slakia, no one. Give me a sec. One Slakia. Just one more. So wait, that wife or that woman, Samson didn't even get to go in onto her anyway.
I'll have to read the account again, but to my memory, I'm not sure. So I wouldn't say.
He was given to his brethren, which was a Philistine, so one of them.
The whole
emphasis.
Yes.
The whole was to start
a ruckus, yeah. The whole point of it was to start a war. That was the whole emphasis.
Right. That's what.
Please, yeah, spare. If you scroll down, it should be. Oh, it hasn't got anything. All right, let me quickly find it. But all right, I'll explain it. That's the one. Yeah, that's it right there.
Okay.
It's Aristotle.
Which one is Caslu?
Caslu. I have to look up in the Bible dictionary. The 7th month. Caslu. September time. Yeah, something like that.
Aristotle, father of scientific racism.
So now, a lot of the philosophy that you get now, it came from the Greek Empire. And this man, he was a Greek philosopher, and he's known for what you would call scientific racism, meaning if you was black, he thought that, by a nature, you was destined to be a manslave. Like, he goes, look at you, when it's hot, you can work in the sun, they're strong. And a lot of philosophy that you get now, he is the founder of it, where basically he looked at race and goes, yes, that we are above them. And even today in England, his philosophies are even taught till this day, man. And then you're shocked when England is racist, when the people who they look up to have always been racist, man. Those Greek philosophers that they read about in the universities of Oxford and in Cambridge, they've been racist. And then for some reason, we believe we can join England when the people who inspire them, they're racist, man.
Right.
They do not like us. Reader.
Race, science is back. To be fair, it never really left.
And there you go, man. So even this writer here is telling you that racism has never really left. Meaning, in today's day and age, people like to act like, racism in the past or it's not as bad, when even they know really that racism has not left, man.
That's
We're
right.
in England, even after the Windrush came, racism hasn't left, man. Reader.
Oh, God. But in the past few years, an obsession over the intersection of race and science, and in particular, the use of science to shore up theories and race hierarchies, has seen a resurgence at the heart of this revival. Charles Murray, co-author of the notorious 1944 book on innate intelligence and public policy, the Bell Curve.
So now this man, he wrote a book called the Bell Curve, and of course, his book was inspired by Greek philosophers. And you can read it if you want to. It's a very racist book, basically saying that black people are dumb. Basically just look at them, like even the songs they make. It's just noise and just how they walk, and basically he's saying that we need the white man above us, or then we wouldn't be able to do anything. Saying that yes, we are great, but the white man being above us is what makes us great, because we got the ability and the white man has the mind. So I wouldn't recommend reading it. It will get you angry. You'll be reading like this, man. You will be upset, man. Reader.
God. After being shouted down by protesters while trying to give a talk at Middlebury College last spring, Murray was invited to participate in a 2-hour podcast conversation with Sam Harris, prominent new atheist and champion of science and so-called reason. But as Vox editor Ezra Klein pointed out, Murray's views, especially his ideas on the habitual of intelligence, which Murray explicitly linked to race and which has been gleefully adopted by overt and covert white supremacists.
So now, someone who is a racist, they will use his book and go, listen, it's just natural that white people are more smarter than us, to go, it's just natural. Just you being a part of that race, it just means that you are wiser. And many people reference his book, and then that man referenced Greek philosophers. Reader.
Okay. Are hardly the groundbreaking and new ideas that Harris presented them to be. Rather, they were very old and very bad ideas that have led to unspeakable oppression, particularly of Black Americans.
And there you go, man. So meaning these ideas that they have, a lot of white people look at it and go, yes, well, I should reign over them. In the 1600s, listen, they need us, man. Because, if they're left alone, what would we do? And this is what Greek philosophy is a part of. Greek philosophy is a part of Black people working in the West Indies for over 100 years, man.
Right.
Why? Because those are concepts in their mind were like, listen, this man, he's wise, he's saying this, and this also plays a part of it too. Reader.
But these ideas are even older than Klein realizes. To understand the underlying assumptions that Murray and others, it's helpful to look back at the granddaddy of all racial theorists, Aristotle, in understanding the role of Aristotle played in laying the underground for race science.
So now you can look him up in your own time, but race science meaning that, via race, it depends on where you're meant to be in life. And when you read on in the rest of that article right there, it lets you know that what this man laid down influences the Western world. And what is a part of the Western world? England, man.
Right.
England. So meaning they look up to these Greek philosophers and what they thought about us as a race, man. So if we are trying to fight for England's love, forget about it, man.
Right.
They're influenced by they're influenced by Greek philosophers, and listen, they didn't like us.
That's right.
So we gotta start fighting for England's love, man. We gotta stop trying to join people, and instead let's join onto each other, man.
Right.
You can get me Zephaniah 2:1.
So
Yeah.
Prime Minister called Enoch Powell that had the speech kind of similar to that as well.
There you go. And I can't guarantee, but I bet you, even that speech he had, it was influenced by Greek philosophers, man. No, in their education, they research him. And that's why in England, you're going to realize that it will always be against us because they learn of racist Greek philosophers, man. So the people up in the House of Lords and all that, part of their education is getting into their work. And in their work, they thought very low of us.
Right.
And then us living in England, we're like, it's not fair. Well, it won't be fair because they're inspired by him, man. And he thought naturally by a race that we was dumb, we deserved everything that we had, man. And that's why, when you got like a black man going, listen, I'm gonna go in the House of Lords, I'm gonna work it in from the inside out. He's chasing a dragon, man.
That's right.
It's not gonna happen, man. You wanna know why? Because you're one man, all of them, they've all had the same education, man.
Right.
And their education is racially abusing you, man.
That's right.
Their education involves them believing that they are above you, man. And that's why it doesn't happen, man. You got, what's that guy? David Alami.
Go on.
You know what I mean? Seeing him, it's just a heartache, man. You know what I mean? It's sad. He's always in the House of Lords, running his big mouth, and this ain't right, and nothing changes. They don't see him directly, but listen, their education is like, who's this guy? This lower, like, please. You know what I mean? They may not say it, but guess what? They think it, man.
Right.
And he's doing dead efforts in there. And if he would have just come to the UPK, it would have got this breakdown that, listen, their education, it involves racist Greek philosophers.
That's right.
And they don't think highly of us. Read that for me, Zephaniah 2:1.
Shall I read the other one?
Yeah, come on.
Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together.
There you go,
Yeah.
man. So, okay, this is ISUPK bedrock right here, man. This is ISUPK 1-on-1,
That's right.
like 101. You know what I mean? You gotta gather together, man.
That's right.
Who
That's
does?
right.
Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, man. The Bible don't say gather unto England. You know what I mean? We've already read how England feels about us. We're gonna read that next, and then I'll break it down. Read on.
Yea, gather together, O nation, not desired.
And the Lord calls us a nation not desired, man. The Lord's saying the nation not desired. Now, of course, with the Bible we read, it was translated in the 1600s. So when it says, oh, a nation not desired, in the 1600s, it's like saying, oh, young fellow, you know what I'm saying? But it's not really like we are something, you know what I mean? Basically, we are the nation that's not desired. So it's saying that if no one likes us, then what should we do?
Gather yourselves together.
Gather together, O nation not desired.
Right.
So if no one desires us, then it would make sense for us to join, man.
That's
Right.
Why? Because if people don't like you, it makes sense that, listen, you know what I mean? If everyone hates us, then all we have is us.
right.
You know what I mean? At least we have each other. And that's what God commanded us, man. That we gotta gather together. Because England doesn't like us, man. Regardless of what you do, they hate you for being you, man. They hate you for looking like you. We just read it. It's got nothing to do with what you did, how you talk, how you walk. England hates you because you're a child of God, man.
That's right.
England hates you because you're an Israelite.
That's true.
It's got nothing to do with how you talk. See, we black people, we talk too much. Ghetto talk, man. You know what I mean? If we talk better, maybe it might help us. That's a lie, man.
That's right.
You mean forget? You mean you gotta wear the suit and tie, man. Leave the shorts alone, man, and the tracksuits. That's nonsense. England hates you because you're a child of the Lord, man. That's why it's got nothing to do with what you did, how you talk, how you walk. They hate you because you're a black man, man.
Right.
Yes.
What you say reminds me of Chris Eubank. He's John Hopkins.
There you go.
And how he changed his Jamaican patois to Queen's English. I know every interview he tried to speak properly, correctly. He never used to, if you see him in his early days, in his early interviews, when he turned pro, he spoke a little patois. See, I didn't know, man. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Chris Eubank spoke a little patois.
Every now and again, he still busts it out even now.
Yeah, he does it every now and then as well.
But he used to wear them jog uppers to feel more English.
Because I don't know.
Yeah.
He
used to wear horse riding clothes.
There you go.
Dressed like an earl. But ain't he Scottish and Welsh and Irish? Ain't they the same as the English? They ain't just the same.
Oh yeah, listen.
And we're the brave hearts.
All of us. Okay, every nation hates us, man. Now, according to the school, you mean I don't have all of the history. Braveheart, I can't vouch for, but though with the film A Braveheart, it is based after a real life event. Once King James died, it was called the a Jacobite War.
Yeah.
So yes, that war did involve Israelites. Yes. So yes, but would I say that a Braveheart or what's his name, a Wallace? I will find out for you, but off the top, I'm not 100% sure, and we're not going to teach nothing that ain't verified.
So someone in the chat said yes, because you man used to talk about back in the day before it was big.
Yeah, and also not trying to ramble on. What shocks me about him is he was raised in Brixton. You know what I mean? He's acting like, you know, he speaks the Queen's English now when that wasn't your life, man. You was born in Brixton. No, he was born in Jamaica, 1. Then came to Brixton, 2. Then went to America, 3. And then comes here speaking the Queen's English. Like, come on, really. It doesn't work like that, man. And then things happen when you want to join England. And what he doesn't get is England will never love him, man. Not for what he does. It's because he's a black man. Read it one more time. Zephaniah 2:1.
Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
And there with that nation that's not desired, man. No one desires us, man. So what should we do? Gather together, man.
Right.
You know, as a nation, we are all we got, man. You can't rely on the Indians. You can't rely on nobody. Why? Because all nations have used us to get somewhere in England. And then what happens? Once they get to where they are, then they end up hating you too, man. And that's right.
Yeah, like, clearly the nation is not desired. Like, you'll think that we took England so far in the Euros, they were like, well, you know, it's the famous for everything. They didn't care. Like, you didn't win. And that's all we care about. You know what I mean? Like, there would be no finals if it wasn't us in the first place. But that shows how much they hate us, man. We would have fought after all these years, fighting the army and marrying the woman that by now you really hate black people no more. You think that? You think it's a Romanian turn now or something? It's still black people still.
There you go. Why? Because that's how much they don't desire us, man.
Right.
That even when you achieve for them, even when you're putting England on at the Olympics, it's not enough. Why? Because they don't desire you.
Right.
The scripture that the hate is endless for all times.
Yes, in Ezekiel 35:5, it said that they have a perpetual hatred. If you look at that word, it means a never-ending, meaning it just don't end. regardless of what they've done to us, enslaved us, got us in England working for nothing, man. And it's just not enough, man. You're playing in their teams, bringing them as far as you can, and that perpetual hatred will always be there, man.
Right.
That's right. Read Ezekiel 20 and 32. Ezekiel 20 and 32.
Okay, Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 32. And that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all.
So now, in the book of Ezekiel, who is the Lord addressing right here? The Israelites, man. And what is the Lord letting us know? That which cometh into your mind shall not be at all. Meaning, in our mind, there's something we want to do, man.
Right.
In a black mind, Hispanic mind, Native Indian mind, there's something that we think is right.
Right.
There's something that we want to do, and the Lord saying it's not going to be at all. Meaning what? The Lord ain't going to make it happen, man.
Right.
And let's find out what the Lord is not going to make happen. Read on.
Okay. That ye say, we will be as the heathens.
And guess what? That's never going to happen, man.
That's right.
We're never going to be as the heathen, man. We say, yeah, man, I want to be British, man. My passport's burgundy or red, burgundy, red.
Blue now, shades back to blue from 16. Literally, I got a new one the other day.
Damn.
Gone back to blue.
Well, I was let you have the heads up. You're gonna get a passport now. You know what I mean? Since the Brexit and all that, take it. You know what I mean? And that is in our mind, man. I'm British. I got the blue passport, man. And God's saying, nah, that's not gonna happen, man.
That's right.
We want to be as the heathen, and God makes sure it never happens, man.
That's right.
And how does God make sure it never happens? What happened last week, man?
Right.
Where it's gonna be rubbed in your face.
Mm.
It's gotta be in front of your face to let you know, listen, I'm not gonna make you be as the heathen, man.
Right.
We want to be British so bad, and God's saying it's not gonna happen, man.
Mm.
You wanna play for the Olympics and win England gold, and then guess what happens? They're gonna call you a wag on the way back, man.
Right.
You wanna know why? Because God's saying, listen, what is in your mind is not gonna be at all. What you want to do, I'm not gonna make it happen. And what is in our mind, we want to be like the heathen, man.
That's right.
Right.
We want to join the heathens, and God is not with it, man.
Right.
The Lord isn't with it. That's why it never happens, man.
God.
With a Nigel Ben, he tried to join England, and what happened? He must have had an accident in his car and run over a white person in the 90s, and England thrashed him, man. England made him look like he's just a violent thug and he was drunk, and that wasn't the case. You know, I hate to say it, but car accidents happen.
That's right.
It's why they're called car accidents.
That's right.
You don't a purpose to go, you know, I'm gonna ram a car into this next car. Hence why it's called traffic accidents, meaning you didn't mean for it to happen. And England made Nigel Ben look horrible, man.
Right.
Why? Because God's showing Nigel Ben what is in your mind is not gonna be at all, man.
That's right.
You want to join England and this embarrassed me. It was one of his fights. He went on his knee to his a white girl. You know what I mean? And you know how he talks, Kathy, will you marry me? And the crowd's all up and down like, Nigel, why, man, please? You know what I mean? And guess what? You do that to try and get England's love. And as soon as you do one bad thing, they let you know, listen, you're not a part of us, man.
Right.
And above England, it's the Lord, man.
That's right.
Above England doing it, it's the Lord that makes it happen to show you that what is in your mind shall not be at all, man.
That's right.
I mean, you can probably get the video online where he proposes. I'm like, Nigel, why, man? Why? You know what I mean? You could have done it in the house, man. You know, come on, man. But again, he wanted England's love so bad with the white girl. It had to do in the ring show. Listen, man, I'm just like you, man. And guess what happened? England still didn't love him, man.
That's right.
Stucky, you had to.
I'm sure Chris Eubank did it as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
With that Karen and that joining with Karen.
Karen, yeah. And you always think to yourself, why do black athletes have to propose to white women in front of everyone? Why? Because you try and get England's love. Listen, I got your woman. I love her. Look. It's on camera. Now, of course, he's looking very beat up. Oh, Kathy, you marry me. Oh, no shit. Yeah. So, I can't hear the speaker. On the mic? Stop it 1 second. And if you notice, the first thing he said is what I've done a lot for British boxing. Meaning, see, even he knows that really what he's doing is trying to impress the white man. Listen, I've done a lot. And listen, when you had that car accident, England didn't care, man. Right. You done a lot for British boxing, and as soon as you harm one of theirs, listen, they forget about all you've done for British boxing.
That's right.
Yeah.
He was in the army as well. He was an army man for Britain as well, isn't it? He was a military as well. He's done a lot for He was an army man before. You know what I mean?
And you see, I didn't notice, but he was in the army as well. Meaning, he's given love to England, man. Fought in their wars, fought to put British boxing on the map. And even with all of the achievements, so-called, that he did, he still could not get England's love, man.
Right.
Let's play with it.
It's time to call it a night. Without this woman here beside me, I wouldn't be here today. When I was going through a breakdown over my wife and everything, this is the girl that picked me up through everything. And all I can say to you, Caroline, will you marry me?
And I'm gonna expound on it as well. That's a lie. She never picked him up. He's got the money. You know what I mean? Like, you're the boxer with the money. How can she pick you up? like what? You know what I mean? Why? Because it's not about that. He wants to show England, listen, man, I'm with your woman, man. And really, all of that is to gain England's love, man. It's got nothing to do with how she helped him. Helped him how? You're the boxer making the money. Right. You know what I mean? What can she do for you? But that's not the point, man. The point is trying to fight for England's love. Even at the start of the video, I've done so much for British boxing. Then the white girl comes out, marry her. All those things, they come with that agenda. And that agenda is try and get England's love, man. So right. You had something quite so. Oh, okay, no sweat. Read it again in Ezekiel 20 and 32.
Can. Ezekiel chapter 20, 32. And that which cometh into your mind, shall not be at all, that ye say, we will be as the heathen, as the families of the countries, to serve wood and stone.
And there you go, man. That is the problem that we have as a nation. We want to be as the heathen, man.
Right.
And then you want to serve the wood and the stone, meaning what? They're gods, man. They're idols, aka religions, man. And the Lord's saying it's not going to happen, man.
Right.
Even though you want it to happen, there's a God in heaven making sure that it never happens, man.
That's right.
Right.
It's what we want. But guess what? The Lord, he's got something better, man. And it's called separation, man. Yes.
That's right.
Can that go with the scripture where the Lord said he has certain prophets reserved for himself? So even though all of us want to celebrate birthdays and Christmas, the Lord said it would never happen. Like, I've got people that will push the opposite.
That's right. That's right. You know what I mean? That is a precept to go along with that in Kings, where it talks about Elijah.
Okay.
So look at one. Shall I read on?
First Kings 19:18.
I got you. We'll get that next, but yeah, it can read on in Ezekiel.
Yes. As I live, says the Lord God, surely with a mighty hand and with stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I rule over you.
And there you go, man. You can't be like them. Why? Because the Lord wants to rule over you, man.
That's right.
In your mind, you know, I want to be English, and the Lord's like, listen, you're mine, man, and I'm gonna rule over you. If I gotta do it with anger, if I gotta do it with my mind, whatever it takes, you're mine, man.
That's right.
And I'm ruling over you. You know what I mean? You want to do your thing, but listen, if I gotta make you do my thing, you're gonna do it, man.
Right.
And that's how you know the Lord is a black man, man. You know what I mean? You got son, you don't make son one rapper. Listen, if I gotta beat him and drag him home and do this and that, you're gonna do it, man.
Right.
And the Lord saying, listen, I'm gonna rule over you, man, with a stretched out arm in his mind. Even with anger, the Lord will rule over us, and we won't be as the heathen, man. It's not gonna happen. And that's how you know that we are the people of God.
That's right.
Because we are a people that, regardless of who we want to join, we just can't join them, man.
Right.
We're in England trying to join, and what happens? Racial abuse stops us from joining, man. Why? Because that's the Lord's anger, making sure that it will never happen, man.
That's what Officer Karafi was saying earlier as well about the football being of the Lord, and this is what we're reading right here. So you know, just like we want to join them, etc., but it's not going to happen, man. That's the Lord's fury poured out right there, man.
There you go, man. You know what I mean? That's heavy as well. Let's get a Genesis 10. So, you know, some people online, you know, that probably came from, you know, a Christian background, they're probably hearing what we're on about. Yeah.
So, like I wanted to read verse 34 as well,
okay.
if it's possible.
Yeah. That's 12.
Okay. Verse 34. And I will bring you out from the people and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered with a mighty hand and with a stretched out.
No sweat. So that part hasn't happened yet, man.
Right.
I mean, a time's coming where we're going to be leaving England, man. We're going to be leaving Germany and Amsterdam and France and America and the West Indies. So has that part happened yet? Absolutely not, man.
Right.
But yes, the Lord is going to bring us out of these countries, man.
That's right.
You know what I mean? We're here now, but it's not going to be like this forever, man. England ain't going to rule forever. This oppression that we are under, it will not be like this forever, man.
Right.
No, so it's like it was Genesis 11.
Yeah. Can. Verse
1. 11 and 1.
Genesis 11 and 1. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech.
So now let's break it down, man. You know, mankind being one, it was never the plan of the Most High. And how do we know? We're going to read this account where at one point in time in history, mankind was of one language and one speech. So at this point in time, everyone was one. And let's see if the Lord liked it. Let's see if the Lord approved of everybody being one. Reader.
Verse 2. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar.
All right.
And they dwelt.
So now, if you look in a biblical map, Shinar is a region in Iraq.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? So basically, they journeyed into what would be modern day Iraq. Read on.
Of Shinar, and they dwelt there. Verse 3. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar.
There. So now what happened? Once they found that place in Iraq, then they started to what? Make like, you know what I mean, make a house and started to live. You know what I mean? Which is a normal. Of course, everyone needs somewhere to live. So, you know, so now, even though they're all one, they're now starting to live with each other as well. And then let's find out what happened next. Reader.
Verse 4. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole world.
So that means, so that lets you know that even they knew what they was doing was wrong. They said, like, let's do it, lest we be scattered all over the whole earth. Meaning, even among them, they knew that they wasn't meant to be doing this, man.
Right.
They knew, but they were like, listen, you know what I mean? They believed in their mind that if they made this a tower and they defeated God, then, you know what I mean, they could all stay joined. But even they knew deep down that, listen, you know what I mean? If we don't defeat God, we're going to be scattered all over the earth. Showing you what? That even they knew really that they all wasn't meant to be joined as one. Right. Even they knew it. So when we say we're not meant to join nobody else, it's always been in the Bible. Nations are meant to have their own. Nations are meant to have their own country, their own language, their own resources. Why? Because that's what the Lord always wanted, man.
That's right.
And even them in their wickedness, they knew it. They knew that they all wasn't meant to be joined together. Reader.
Yeah. Just like today, man, that one big melting pot, right? What they trying to gather, like America and all that, trying to gather all nations, you know, to come over, and here as well, over Britain as well, to bring all nations to be one and all religions joined together and all this stuff. And it's exactly the same thing that they were doing here in the Tower of Babel that they're doing today, trying to gather all nations together, man.
That's right, but in this case, they was all there. Every nation was there because a flood happened, and of course, everyone spoke the same language. So this is a point in history where every nation, so-called, they was joined onto each other, and they even worked together. They even made a town and a tower as well.
Yeah. No, I understand.
I got you.
No, yeah, I understand that. I know things has changed slightly. What I'm saying is, like Esau now, what's he trying to do now? Exactly the same thing what the Lord said not to do. which is gather all nations unto himself.
Okay,
You know what
I
I'm
got
saying?
you. See what you're
Yeah.
saying. I got you.
Mhm.
Is this period, is it fair to say this is approximately 5,500 years ago?
I would look into that, but you know what I mean. You would have to use a Bible, a timeline, and then just say normal history, a timeline, and you know what I mean. Make sure that they emerge, because
So can you just break down verse 4 again? So the people have gone into Babylon.
Babel, or well, over here it's a Aina.
Yeah. Did they have scaffolding? Do you know how high is this tower going to have to be to reach heaven, the heaven? They're going to have to go through the clouds. We haven't got buildings today that are that high.
No, okay. Now, in regards to that, the Bible doesn't specify how high it was. You know what I mean? And even though they said, let's make it that high, it doesn't mean that they did. Remember, what you're reading, it was their thoughts.
Intent.
It was their intent. So it didn't say it didn't say that's what they did. That was their mindset that, listen, you know, right now we're all joined as one. Let's try and get up there, defeat the Most High, because if we don't, we will be scattered abroad. So meaning even they knew that all of them being adjoined and speaking the same language, they knew that really that wasn't the intention of the Lord. Or then in their intent, on their mind, they would not have had said, lest we be scattered abroad. So even they knew that they all wasn't meant to be joined.
Is it fair to say that they were a bit dumb, absent-minded? What made them think in their intentions that they could reach the heavens?
Okay, in the Apocrypha, it lets you know that some men are ignorant of God, meaning they know God exists, but they don't know God like how we do. So in their mind, they just believe, you know, God's just up there. If we make something high enough, we will make our way out there and fight. Meaning it was a people that was ignorant of God and his understanding and where the Lord really is.
Just latest he goes to space and fight out and bring back. I'm not sure if it's because they did pride or if it's because they did not.
Nah, it's a bit of both. They believe they can achieve anything, which we're gonna read here, but also they're very ignorant of God. Remember this: we are the only a nation that knows God. Other nations don't, and they have assumptions on God which are not true.
Right.
There you go.
No, it's changing the subject.
Okay, no sweat. Read on.
Yeah, so like based on the thingy, like them towers, that's like today, innit? The skyscrapers and all those things, innit? Like this is Mr. Babylon the Great that we're living in today. So in it the same thing that with all them towers and them skyscrapers, that would have been like the towers, innit? Like they trying to, you know, whoever's got the biggest, the tallest tower has the highest rank type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Plus them Slovakia, plus them going, you know, space traveling as well and all that. You know what I'm saying?
I do hear what you're saying, but the Bible doesn't specify how high which. That's all.
You know the UN building is built like unfinished building. People say it's to mimic that.
The Tower Babel.
Is that correct? So that was,
well, all right, yes and no. Meaning, with the a UN, with the a building they have, they got the idea of a painting of the tower of a Babel.
No, I'm not saying that is it. I mean, the whole concept of unfinished building.
That is from the concept of the tower of a Babel, meaning that every nation that is there, they're basically doing what happened in Genesis 11. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So we're gonna get it for you. The UN building. We'll get that. There it is there. So if you get the Renaissance painting of the Tower of Babel, that UN building looks exactly like it, meaning that even in the UN, they know that they're mimicking Genesis 11 when every nation was of one language and one speech. So when they're all in there, even they know that they're all becoming one, like in the Bible.
That's right. And Salaki Adon.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, even today, like the whole earth has to speak English, man. The whole earth have to speak one language. I know everyone's got individual languages. That was a Tower of Babel split, and now they're trying to bring everyone back under the English, English language. The same thing they're trying to, compile, but together again, man.
Yeah,
That makes
nah,
sense.
and guess what? And that's a heavy point. I mean, a lot of countries now have to speak English. So I do see the point. Let's read on where we at.
Verse 4. Khan. Genesis 11, verse 4. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top reach unto the heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. Yeah, verse 5. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men builded.
So now the Lord himself, he did not come down, of course. He sent an angel down, and the angel saw it like what there was making, like they're gonna really make that to basically fight against the Most High. So why is the angel doing this? Because in the Bible, angels report to the Most High. So that angel he'll see the tower and go, Lord, they're making a tower, believing they're gonna come up here and then fight. So now the angel, he's gone down to what? Give the report, man, of what men are doing on the earth once the flood had happened. Reader.
Verse 6. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do.
All right.
And
So now the Lord, of course, he knows what to do. You know what I mean? They're all working as one, believing they're gonna fight against the Lord. And the Lord gave the answer right here. All what it comes down to is everyone's one. You know what I mean? That the people are one. Read on.
and the people, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do.
All right. So now, does this mean they would really get the chance to fight God? Because some people read that part and go, well, it would have happened. So now, does it mean that?
Salakia, can I read it one more time?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Oh no, Salakia, say what? So which they imagine to do. So what they imagine to do is to fight God. And what was it? What was he saying again, Salakia?
So now the bit before that, nothing will be restrained from them, meaning anything they want to do, they will do it, man. But does that mean they would have really had the chance to fight against God?
Okay. Right. Okay. I see that, like, if I'm not getting it too off, but like just like how they're gonna fight Christ and the angels, meaning they're imagining to do it, but they're not gonna win. So if it's like that, then that's how I see it. That's how I see it, like that.
Now,
so
of course,
yeah.
Most like putting on restriction on them. Try it if you think you can make it happen.
Not quite.
Restrain.
Not quite. Meaning, all right, I'll read it. And now, nothing will be restrained from them, which they imagine to do. So now, what's it saying? Meaning now, they're on the earth. They have one a language. They've made a town. So now they've done that part. Now they want to fight against the Lord. So now, why is it saying nothing will be restrained from them, which they imagine to do?
So they will be able to do what they imagine. Again,
No.
mm,
Okay, to keep this in mind, they found land. They've made the bricks. They've made the mortar. They've already done that. Now they want to fight against the Most High. So now, does it mean that nothing is restrained from them? Meaning that they would have even had a chance to fight the Most High?
I don't know.
Okay, the answer is no. And now,
Right.
what are they restrained from? Meaning there's nothing restrained from them. Why? Because on the earth, they've done everything. They've made houses, they've made carts. Now, because they've done everything on the earth, what is in their imagination now? Let's fight the Most High, man.
Right.
It's not restrained. Why? Because they've done everything on the earth. They've
Right.
already built up. They've already built up what we call today a civilization. So now, because they've done that, now they're thinking, you know what? Let's fight the Lord. That's what it means by nothing is restrained from them. Why? Because on the earth, they've done it all, man. And now, once doing everything on the earth, now they're thinking, damn, you know, we might kind of go there and fight the Most High, if I'm making sense. You know what I mean? So it doesn't mean that they would have won a fight with the Most High. The point being is they're on the earth, they've made, you know what I mean, inventions and stuff like that. They've done that. And now, once they've achieved that, now it's like, you know what, let's fight, man. And the Lord's like, damn, it seems like now they want to try and fight me because on the earth, what? They've made those bricks, houses, cities. And now man's wandering off that much. They even now believe they can fight me, if I'm making sense.
There's also like, man be cloning sheep and humans, and now they're like, you know, this is fantasy, this, you know, go out to space now, fighting, see how much, you know, we've done everything, you know what I mean, everything now, let's go what we done.
There you go, man. Meaning they want to advance, like, okay, we've achieved this. Now let's do this. That's the point of it. Read on.
But which they imagine, verse 7. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may.
No sweat. So the easiest way to prevent their imagination was just to confound their language, man. The Lord could have done many things, but the easiest thing is if you don't understand each other, naturally that will divide you, man.
Right.
If your nation speaks a certain language, then what? Then you mean you were gonna latch on to your race, and that's what the Lord did, man. To put separation on the earth, the Lord done it via something which it sounds easy to do, but it's effective. He just confounded their languages, man. Read on.
Right. Confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. Verse 8. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off building the city.
And there, man, and that's how the Lord scattered man over the face of the earth, by just changing their languages, man. So now one race of people, they got a language. You know what I mean? They're gonna leave from that place and find a place for themselves, man. Indians found India. You know what I mean? With the Egyptians, their people had a language. They went on their journey, found Egypt, man. And every nation just scattered from that point with their people after their language. And that's how the Lord scattered man over the face of the earth. Showing you what, that we're not meant to join, man. Damn dead. You know what I mean? This is Genesis. And already from the beginning, the plan of the Lord was not to make man join, man. The Lord wants separation on the earth. And the Lord did it by a language, man. The Lord done it by confounding languages. So if you don't understand someone, naturally you're going to cleave to your people. You're going to go to the people that you do understand, and that people would be your race, man.
That's right.
And that's how the Lord caused division on the earth.
Right.
So, you know, if we know this, why would we even try to join England, man? Why
Right.
would we even attempt to be a part of the UK when the Lord has always been about separation, man?
Right.
That's right.
Got question, bro. Said Moses never saw the tower. Is he going by what he was told? I tried to find a scripture about in Sinai, the Lord broke it down from the beginning, so I can't find it.
Oh, 2 Ezra 15 and 1. Or 14 and 1, one of the two. So the question you asked, it was very good. So how did Moses know of these things? Because of course, what you're reading, it wasn't written in that time, of course. So how did Moses know about the beginning? And we're gonna get a precept for you in 2 Ezra, a 14 and 1, or probably 15 and 1.
Second Ezra.
Yeah. $13 and 1 is one of those about. Yeah, it is the first verse of that chapter.
Moses, Salakia, then said he unto me, in the bush I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses. Is that the one?
Sakia, which verse is that?
2 Ezra 14 and verse 2.
And 2. That's
3. Salakia, 3.
Oh, 3. That's it. But if you can, just start from verse 1 just to set the scene.
I just wanted to know if that was it. I just saw it. All right, All right, 2 Ezra 14 and 1. And it came to pass upon the third day, I sat under the oak, and behold, there came a voice out of the bush over against me, and said, Esdras, Esdras. And I said, here am I, Lord. And I stood up upon my feet. Verse 3. Then said he unto me in the bush, I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses. So
now I'll set the scene. So now the Lord, he's speaking to Ezra right here, and he's letting him know that, you know what I mean, he did speak to Moses, that he did manifest himself. And manifest doesn't mean show your face or nothing, just to reveal yourself. He said that, you know what I mean, I am that I am, man. He asked him for his name. Of course, it wasn't his name, saying that basically just go out there and do the job, man. I am that I am. But you mean based saying that, you know what I mean, he knew of me, man. This man of God, he knew of me. Read on.
Okay. And talk with me when my people served in Egypt. Verse 4. And I sent him and led my people out of Egypt.
There, so of course, you can read about that in the book of Exodus when we was led out of Egypt. Read on.
Okay. And brought him up to the Mount of Sinai, where he held him by me a long season.
All right. So now, how did Moses know of the beginning? In the mount, the Lord had him for a time, and let's find out what happened.
But that season, the 40 days that it was talked about.
The 40 days, yeah. So in the Bible, it would just tell you for 40 days, but in the book of 2 Ezra, it just calls it a season, but it's the same thing basically. You know what I mean? It's basically saying the same thing, just wording it differently. Reader.
Okay, verse 5. And told him many wondrous things, and showed him the secrets of the times. God. And the end, and commanded him, saying,
if you read that one more time.
God. And showed him the secrets of the times.
And there you go, man. That's why we got a Genesis right here. That's how we know about the a tower, and Adam and Eve. He showed them the secrets of the times, man.
right.
You know what I mean? Why? Because as time went on, people forgot these things, and the Lord let him know that, listen, your great granddad, he made an ark. The world was wicked, this and that. He gave him the secrets of the time, and it wasn't only us, because even if you research ancient history, what do people like to say? Well, the Bible robbed this from here, robbed this from there, and it's not that the Bible robbed it. It happened. It's
Right.
factual events. But of course, them and nations, they got the names wrong, or they got the event, you know what I mean, not 100% right. And the Lord, he gave it to us, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
What happened, what was happening at that time. He got the secrets of the times. So that's how he knew about the a tower, Noah's Ark, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, etc. He has some.
Yeah, that's deep. Muslims love that one. They say, "Oh, how would Moses know they wasn't born there?" Most of that, you know, what Moses knew, the Lord told him in the mount, history and everything.
There you go. And what's heavy is, even those events, there's history to even back it up. So it's not like, well, allegedly this man claims in the beginning this happened. There's even secular worldly history that backs it up to show
That's
you that he got it from definitely something divine, or then it would be wrong. You would go in history and go, well, nah, around that time that wasn't happening. That's nonsense. Even in history, it shows that happened.
That's
That's how you know that he got it from the Lord, man.
right.
That's
Now,
right.
People say, "Oh, the book of Noah is stolen from Egyptian history, because their history, they're the ark also." But all it is when something happens, it happens, and you take it back to your country, you call it this. He saw it, he took it to his country, you call it that. That's what it was, but they could copied it.
That's all it is, yeah. So
Right.
it's not like it's not like as if it is plagiarized. It's a factual event, and of course, remember, with that flood, it killed everyone on the earth.
Right.
Why would people not write it down, man? Why would it not be in their history, an event so big like that? It should be, and that
Right.
actually confirms the Bible, because you're telling me an event like that and no one wrote about it. Then maybe you would have an argument, but an event like that is that bad. People had to write it down, man, which actually
That's right.
shows that the Bible is true. That's right. There you go. If you've never heard it on the mic, with them the flood, with them a Noah, his son's Ham. So of course his descendants would know about it too, because it happened likewise with everyone. About 4 years ago, I done a lecture on it, and in the book, every nation on the face of the earth, they have a history of the flood. It's a fact. Everyone does. Even if you go to some ancient tribe in the bush somewhere in Africa, they speak of a flood. Now, of course, the names may be wrong, the amount of the people that was on the ark, but that's irrelevant. The point being is, all of them know that a flood happened, and that confirms the Bible. Because if it harmed everyone, then surely everyone knows about it. And you know what I mean? So things like that, it's not plagiarism. That's actually confirming the Bible, man. You know what I mean? All right. No sweat. Let's get Isaiah.
Slack,
yeah.
I just finish that up.
Yeah.
Yes, finish up. Okay. Showed him the secrets of the times and the end, and commanded him, saying, "These words shalt thou declare, and these shalt thou hide."
Okay, so what is these words shall thou declare, and these words shall thou hide? Meaning, there's some things in the Bible he declared and everyone knew. And there's some things in the Bible that even at that time they didn't get, man. Like what's the famous one? Deuteronomy 18:18, man. About I'm gonna send someone. You know what I mean? You have to hear his voice. That was hidden. Even to us, we knew that it was gonna happen, but no one didn't know that it was Yahweh Shai, man. Meaning in the Bible, there's some things that were declared, like the law. The law is declared that the law is black and white. Don't do this. And then there's prophecy, which is hidden, meaning people don't get it. If I'm making sense. Like
That's what you just said. Deuteronomy 18:18. That's a classic scripture that the imams use for the coming of Muhammad. They're fake prophets.
There you go.
They're fake and fraudulent. I have this row every day at work with the Mohammedans.
Yeah, and you know what's weird about that? Really, regarding Deuteronomy 18, it's ridiculous to even think it's Muhammad.
Right.
Like you know what? I kid you not. You know what I mean? I was reading Deuteronomy 18 ages ago, and Muhammad wasn't even on my mind. And I read it, and it is common sense that it's saying among you, meaning the Israelites, meaning among these Israelites, the same way you heard him, he's gonna raise someone up, and you're gonna hear his voice. You just read it and take religion out of it. That's what it's saying. How does someone read and get Muhammad? And that's reaching, man. That is reaching at its finest, man. You know what I mean? But one thing what I would say is, and it's really sad as well. When it comes to the religion of Islam, they can't read. A Muslim can't read. He will bring it to you like, it's not saying that. Yes, it is. It says, I will send the comforter, which is the Holy Spirit. Yeah, but then if you're reading that, then how could it be Muhammad?
Right.
It says a comforter. Now, Muhammad ain't no a comforter.
Right.
Muhammad ain't the Holy Spirit of the Lord. Like, they don't understand what they're reading. It's ridiculous. And
Like I said, and if Muhammad went live, like you're saying, I'm gonna send you man right now living.
there you go.
He went live to 100 there.
There you go. So it obviously isn't Muhammad. But when you're religious, you just go on to what your imam said. And if you just open your eyes and really read it for what it is, you would know, listen, it's not there, man.
You're right when you say Muhammad wasn't a comforter, because Muhammad was an invader. He was an invader of the cities, and he took his 300 Mohammedans and they put the sword to other nations' necks and made them force them to convert. And he encouraged the generations of Mohammedans to do the same. It happened in the lands of the Hindus.
There you go.
All over that region where Yahushua was a Muslim.
There you go. No, there you go. And
Yahushua never pushed our doctrine on the other nations, but Muhammad forced his doctrine on the other nations.
Yeah, and with that being said, honestly, Islam is a joke, man. It's ridiculous. Like the way how they love to debate and try and always go into things, they really shouldn't. Honestly, like Islam, it's a joke. No, it's just like when you go into it and research it, you realize they got some nerve.
Right.
You know what I mean? Anytime we are at camp, always trying to bring up Muhammad, like you don't really want to do it. Like you don't know what you're doing. You know when you think you want something and you really don't. Honestly, Islam is a joke in every aspect, history, geography, in every aspect. The Quran does not stand, man. Even a place of Muhammad. I mean, in the book, it describes it one way, and in history, it's never ever looked like that. In the Quran, Mecca is described as a place where it's got the mountains, all these trees, and that's a lie. In Mecca, it's a fact. It only has 11 centimeters of rain a year. So how can Mecca have all of these trees and the waterfalls and that when Mecca doesn't even hardly have any rain? But though in the Quran, Mecca, the land of this and that, like I doubt that. If it doesn't even hardly rain there,
Mm.
hills, Mecca is on a plain of land. So, really, they want to debate and argue, and they really don't. If the new Islam, like they did, they would be really quiet, man. But, they're not. So, we got any more in a Genesis?
I
Or was
think
that
that
it?
was it.
That was it. All right, let's
Yeah.
get Isaiah 38 and 1. Isaiah 38 and 1.
God.
So now I'm gonna give you another example of why we should not join no other nation, man. So we're in the book of Isaiah. Now, with Isaiah, he was a prophet of the Lord. And at this time, we had a king, his name was Hezekiah. And at this time, Hezekiah was about to die. But before he did, the prophet Isaiah came unto him. So we're reading from this point right here in Isaiah 38 and 1. Read that.
Can. In those days was Hezekiah sick unto death, and Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos, came unto him and said unto him, Thus says the Lord, set thine house in order, or thou shalt die and not live.
So now this king Hezekiah, he's about to die. And the prophet Isaiah came unto him like, listen, set your house in order, meaning what? Sort out your will, man. You know what I mean? Let one son get this. You know what I mean? Just basically do everything, because a time is coming where you are going to die and not live. Read on.
Verse 2. Then Hezekiah turned his face towards the wall and prayed unto the Lord. Verse 3. And said, Remember now, O Lord, I beseech thee, how I have walked before thee in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore.
So, of course, anyone being told that you're going to die, you know what I mean? You're going to be upset, man. So Hezekiah, went towards the wall and he prayed like, Lord, please, man. You know what I mean? I've been with you. You know what I mean? No one likes the news that they're going to die. You know what I mean? Imagine a man of God comes up to you like, yeah, you're going to die next week, So, you know what I mean? Sort out your own will, your bank statements, your this, your that. All right, bye. You're like, rah. And you know what I mean? Hezekiah felt the same way, man. Read on.
Verse 4. Then came the word of the Lord to Isaiah, saying, Verse 5, Go and say unto Hezekiah, Thus says the Lord, the God of David, thy father, I have heard thy prayer, and I have seen thy tears. Behold, I will add unto thy days 15 years.
I imagine that, man. He prayed and the Lord heard it. And the Lord's like, you know what? I'm going to add on 15 years more onto his life, man.
Right.
And I don't want to divert, but let this be a lesson to us as well, that it's the Lord, he controls who lives and dies, man.
Right.
Hezekiah was really meant to die, but then the Lord changed his mind, and you know what? I'll give him 15 years, man. So I'm not trying to, get into the Illuminati stuff and that, but people that panic over vaccines and food and all that stuff, the Lord is the author of life, man.
That's
we
right.
just read what he done for Hezekiah. He gave him 15 more years, man. So I'm not saying don't care for your life, but serve the Lord who controls life, man. You know what I mean? Why? Because if you don't believe in the Lord, you will lose your mind talking about the Illuminati and they're spraying this on the vegetables and this and that. When you serve the Lord, listen, man, the Lord, he controls how many years you got, man.
Right.
Don't worry yourself on things that you can't help, man. But what you can help is your obedience to the Lord, man. That's what you can help. Saki, you have something. It was, yes. Yeah, Hezekiah was a Judite, yeah, so definitely. Yeah, so you know what I mean? The Lord heard his prayer. The Lord added unto his life 15 more years. Reader.
Okay, verse 6. And I will deliver thee and this city out of the hand of the kings of Assyria, and I will defend this city. And
Okay.
this, okay.
No sweat. I'm going to skip to the point for time's sake. All right. So now we read Isaiah 38 and 1. Let's get to Isaiah, the next chapter, Isaiah 39 and 1.
Okay. Isaiah chapter 39, verse 1. At that time, Moroda
Baladan. I know.
Moroda Kabaladan. Salakia. Moroda Kabaladan, the son of Baladan, king of Babylon, sent letters and a present to Hezekiah, for he had heard that he had been sick and was recovered.
So in your own time, you can read it, but with Hezekiah, he was sick. Then he recovered. And this a Babylonian king, he sent him a letter and a gift. And also his name, Amaradak, that's a Babylonian god. So you know what I mean? So now, so if you research his name does have a meaning. You know what I mean? But yeah, basically, you heard that Hezekiah was well. He sent him a letter and a gift. But also keep this in mind, in history, with the Babylonians, they was in a war. So really, even this gift and this letter, really, it's a bribe. He wants them to help the Babylonians, man. He wants the kingdom of Jerusalem to join the Babylonians in their war, man. So now, what is this Babylonian king trying to make us do? Join him, man.
Right.
Read.
Okay. Verse 2. And Hezekiah was glad. And Hezekiah was glad of them and showed them the house of his precious things, and silver and gold and spices and the precious ointments, and all the house of his armor, and all that was found in his treasures. There was nothing in his house, nor in all his dominion, that Hezekiah showed them not.
And what did Hezekiah do? Join him, man. He invited him round and showed him everything, all of his armor, all of his gold. It says in all his dominion that Hezekiah showed him not, man. Meaning what? Hezekiah showed this Babylonian king everything. Meaning what? With this bribe, Hezekiah accepted it, man. And let's find out what happened. Let's find out what Isaiah had to say to Hezekiah for what he did. Read on.
Okay, verse 3. Then came Isaiah the prophet unto Hezekiah and said unto him, What said these men? And from whence came they unto thee? And Hezekiah said, They are come from a far country unto me, even from Babylon.
And with Isaiah, it's like, so what have these men seen? What have they said? And you know, of course, I want you to imagine this. The way how we are now, we like that back then. And what is one thing we like to do, man? We like to show a stranger everything, like, yo, man, look, man, you mean we live like this. Look at what we got. And Hezekiah is happy. You mean we like these men? They came from Babylon, Isaiah. You know, Isaiah. You mean we got help from Babylon? And let's find out what Isaiah had to say about it, man. Reader.
Then said he, What have they seen in thine house? And Hezekiah answered, All that is in mine house have they seen. There is nothing among thy treasures that that I have not showed them.
So now Hezekiah told Isaiah, listen, I've showed them everything. Everything that we had in the kingdom of Judah, Hezekiah showed these Babylonians everything. Read on.
Okay, verse 5. Then said Isaiah to Hezekiah, hear the word of the Lord of hosts. Behold.
And then now Isaiah had to what? Prophesy against him, man. Go listen, Hezekiah, hear the word of the Lord of hosts, man. Read on.
Okay, verse 6. Behold, the days come that all that is in thine house and that which thy fathers have laid up in store until this day shall be carried to Babylon. Nothing, God, nothing shall be left, says the Lord.
And look at that, man. Hezekiah tried to join someone, and the Lord goes, what? You tried to join them. You know what's going to happen? Those same Babylonians that you love, they're going to take everything. And did that happen? Yes, it did, man. The Babylonians conquered Jerusalem, man. It happened down the line, and that's what happens when we join another nation, man. You show them all that you got, and these heathens will take you all, man.
I don't know what the scripture is, but that scripture where it says the gift is showing my father, that like.
That's right, man.
That what kind of,
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. You know what I mean? Hezekiah got the gifting for the Babylonians care about us. No, they don't, man. The Babylonians are using you because they're in war. You're just an ally unto them. And when he showed them everything, what do you think happened? Those Babylonians went back home and like, yo, you saw all that gold, all that diamond. And what if it happened down the line? Those same Babylonians took it all, man. And it did happen. And that happened why? Because Hezekiah was trying to join another nation, man. Imagine that. A man that the Lord added 15 years onto his life, that sin he did, and the Lord's like, you know what, nah, them people you love, they're going to take everything. And let me tell you something, in England, we love all these nations. They have taken everything, man. They've taken crime. They've taken UK rap. They've taken the words you say. I mean, things we wear. Why? Because we love them. And like what happened to Hezekiah, the Lord will make him have it all, man. So that's the class. I'm going to hand it over to Peace and After.
Each one gets a salute.